INEC conducted governorship and state House of Assembly election across 28 states of the Federation, and Cross River State was one of those states that had their time to elect the governor of their choice. And the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Ntufam Prince Bassey II of the APC, emerged victorious and has been declared the governor-elect of Cross River State. I have joining me the State Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Rasmus Ekpan, here in the studio. Good morning, Popsec, so good to have you join us.
Good morning.
Now, it will be very fitting to start by saying congratulations to your party.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now the elections would say has come and gone, but talk to us, how was it like on the 18th of March before the announcement of the result?
Well, let me even first start by thanking God Almighty for a very peaceful conduct of the elections in Cross River State. Obviously, we have one or two very not too good incidents that happened, but in the general overview, I think Cross River State was peaceful. And then secondly, I have to thank His Excellency Senator Professor Ben Ayadi, who saw this wisdom on time, who stood by his fairness, equity, justice, that power must come back to South. To me, he's a hero of this modern politics. If you notice the trajectory, what has gone on, a lot of our senior brothers who have been in power for almost 20 years or more have just quietly been retired. And that was just single-handedly done by one man called Senator Professor Ben Ayadi. I want to thank him so much. Well, there was a lot of tension, a lot of social media hypes, Facebook talks, abuses. Some people had even gone on social media to win the elections, tell us how it's going to look like and all that. So I would tell you the truth, we're actually tensed, though we knew at the end of the day, like I told you in the last interview, that we'll emerge, we'll come out victorious, where there was a lot of tension, and we were over-prepared, over-geared, a lot of insinuations of insecurity, who will be picked, who will be arrested. In the last elections, generally everywhere in the north, there were a lot of this militarization, intimidations and all that by the military. And even in the central, you're aware that one of our commissioners was picked by the military and all that. So we were tensed up. We were actually trying to find a way around getting it right this time so that we don't get intimidated in a state where we are the government of the day. Yeah.
Okay, but let's look at that. Your party polled 258,619 to beat its closest rival of the PDP, who scored 179,636. There's a wide margin of over 70,000 votes. Let's look at this. What did you do differently? Because your party is about 2 years in this state compared to the PDP. They have been here for 22 years. What were you able to do differently to
the truth about it is that honors goes to the state ESCO, the party that we put together, all of us as members of the state ESCO. Our leader, Barrister Alfonso Soga Eba, the political evangelist, did so well. I had not rested. We 2-3 a.m. wake up, meetings here, there, talking to people. We did door to door. We revisited, we campaigned. We went around canvassing more than 3, 4, 5 times. We really had to tell the people that, it wasn't really much about this party thing, but look at the young breeds that are coming up with the APC. Look at all our candidates. We did close to 90% victory in the State House of Assembly. Even in the National Assembly, we did close to that, about that. We had very credible candidates. Look at like Asuka Ekpan Jr., very intelligent young man, maybe about 40 or less than 40, a Senate. He's actually going to be one of the youngest senators in the Federal Republic. Look at the likes of Betta Edu. It was about the people. Look at myself. I've done so much for my community, my ward. I've appointed, through His Excellency's assist to me, I've given appointments to a lot of people, done some things to, So it was about the people, not just the party name. You understand? Are we going to talk about Senator Prince Bassey II, who is actually the father of empowerment, who started his empowerment in Cross River State? We had very credible candidates that were liked by a lot of people. Yeah, it's not up to 2 years. It was a difficult fight. It was even difficult for us to convince those very aged ones in the village to say, leave the umbrella and go for broom, and all that. But I had not rested. Honestly, I had not rested. We worked tirelessly. Our deputy chairman of party, the secretary, all my ESCO members were on it. They were all in their local. And so some of them actually relocated to their various wards like a week before elections. Even when the election was postponed, we repeated the same thing back. So that honors goes to the party, the stakeholders, the leaders. People like Senator John Owaneno, who stood firmly well and then beat through his influence and all that, beat even the governor, the PDP candidate in his local government. And then we have put the likes of former majority leader of the Senate, Victor Domegba, a lot of Bonobla. We came out very well. And the good thing that happened to the APC was that unifying factor, what Ben Ayade was able to do, bringing the APC together. There always this fear that the APC would always like the law, the constitution, they are divided, they've had factions, but we're able to talk to ourselves, to bring ourselves together as a one family, because the truth about it is that when you're together, it's difficult for another to beat you. So that is why you see the victory that way. And to me, I think I'll congratulate the PDP. They tried, because actually we're actually going to beat them blue-black, not just with this margin of about 80,000. Would have even made it like 100 and something. Because if you notice the trend, what's going on now, the Obedient came out as a movement, not really Peter Obi. It was like they have to change the narrative. And then in most of these elections, you see Labour Party candidate coming second, not even PDP. PDP is dead. PDP, except the form they tried to change people's narrative, is gone. Even in my local government, my ward, PDP to some extent were coming third. Not just second, it was Labour Party. So I'd expected a higher margin, though I'll congratulate the APC family. And also congratulate the PDP, because they did well. For them to even score that 179,000, they tried. Honestly, because I was expecting a more score difference, not just that. But it's very obvious we work very well. We have 18 local government. They were able to clinch 3. We know how the ones in the north happened. Credit to Senator Jaribe. People like him somehow, so they got their votes there. But for us in the central and south, it was just a common local government. And then the margin was not even just too much. So you can imagine coming out to run for, governor, and then eventually you could clinch only 3 local government out of 15. We're over-prepared for them. Over-prepared for them.
Okay, yeah. Now let me take you a little bit back. On the 25th of February rather, we saw some of the entire North, Northern Secretarial District being captured, let me use that word, captured by the PDP. 3 weeks after, which was on the 18th of March, the election day there, we saw kind of an upturn, upset there. So what happened differently? Because your party did not excel well in the northern part of Cross River in the first election, but we saw a complete shift from what happened 3 weeks ago. What happened differently, Popsec?
Well, honestly, the results for 25th of February actually shocked. In short, it actually shocked. Personally, I was really shocked. I wouldn't understand what really went wrong. I think there were some points, vote protests, some betrayals to some extent, and some people didn't really understood His Excellency's will for the people and all that. So I think a lot of people did protest votes. There were a lot of insinuations, a lot of talk and all that. I mean, it was really a bad time for me, so I don't really want to go into that. But I think going back to the second elections of the 18th of March, if you notice His Excellency, our governor-elect, Senator Basio, actually thought it wise to go back to the north, to recanvass, to re-talk to them, to make them understand, the reason why, they should actually vote for him and all that. So he actually spent some 3 days there, alone now with his campaign team and all that. I think that enough change, a lot of people's mind. And, a lot of people actually thought after that election, which of course we are going to court for it, the Senate election, most of these elections in the north. A lot of people actually thought His Excellency Senator Professor Ben Ayade would feel so bad and maybe will not come back and all that. But he came back very, very strong and very excited because he's human and he knows that these things happen. I mean, he supported us. He even supported us more this time around, and he actually went back to his place to so even if you had actually planned to think that you have done somebody and he will be very angry And you see him coming back, laugh, do everything, still give people what people want, and they come back. You'd actually have, if you kind of be emotional about it, and actually like, oh, we think because for me, I'd always wanted to advise the North people. However, that court judgment will go at the end of the day. It wasn't Senator Professor Ben Ayade they did themselves. Because at the end of the day, most people, leaders in the future, may just be worried about the North. If you have a man that has given so much appointment in the North, had done a lot of things, dualize your roads, your hospitals, your schools, even trying to complete an airport for you people, and then you people could stand up to vote him out. I mean, it would actually tell well with them in the future, not Ben Ayade. He's already made. He's been a governor, he's been a senator. I mean, till the end of his life, I don't think he will actually really need much from anybody except God. You understand? So it's not him they did. The impression we have there is like, do we really need to trust these persons and all that? Well, that's my personal opinion anyway. So I think our governor-elect actually went back to talk to them, to actually see reasons with them why they did, accept why they did what they did, if they did then, and then like to appeal to them to understand that he's a different person. And by the grace of God, even twins are two different persons. He's not from Obudu. So whatever the issues are, they leave it behind. So it came out very well. Even the margin, if you check the margins this time from the local government, the clinch, Goja and Bekora, it wasn't much like the previous elections. So I thank the North this time around, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in Cross River State, 11 political parties fielded candidates. Now, as against the very slim margin in other elections, where you have about 4, 5, 6, but now are we now saying that Cross Riverians are getting more politically conscious?
Yes.
Talk to us on that.
Yes, they are. Cross Riverians are really getting, it's very possible. With what Peter Obi did, it's very, very possible that you can actually sell yourself if your manifesto is very okay. And, a lot of the country a lot of things have just gone bad. A lot of things, but like I had always believed that we had actually come to the peak of the worst times in Nigerian history. I believe gradually, by the grace of God, things will start dropping down. So we are more politically aware. And if you watch even the voting trend, a lot of people, like even students, a lot of people that would just relax in their houses voting, they're thinking there will be tear gas, there will be fight and all that. People came out to vote. Look at the obedient experience. I mean, it was shocking. It was they just came out like wild beasts, footed everywhere and all that. So we are more aware. People are coming, and we're going to have a better democracy as we progress, because our democracy is not too old. So by the time I think we should expect more of this. People are more aware. You can even check the voting trends. Sometimes the State House of Assembly, they vote you out and actually vote the governor in. They can actually choose who they want to vote now. It's really not too much about these party things again. A lot of people in this election actually went for individual. They went for individual because we have situations where a State House of Assembly member will score in the same election, in the same ballot, will score about maybe 56, and then Prince Otu, or maybe a Labour will win there, and then Prince Otu will now score 100 and something, the same polling unit. So it wasn't about the APC thing. They actually, we want the governor actually to go to the south. But for this State House of Assembly member, we fail him, we don't want him, we want this other one. So I think Cross Riverians are more aware, they are more aware politically right now.
Okay, so in days to come, there should be a sort of setting up, they call it the transition, transition in place. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, it's going to be very robust, yeah. The party will definitely sit down with the governorship, our governor-elect, and then we plan that. We actually we'll bring everybody in, our stakeholders, people that did very well, the likes of Magiwa, Edem Duke. A lot of them did very well. They tried. Even for us, we're even extending our hands to other opposition parties, the likes of Senator Gershon Bassi, the Honorable Dansuki, who honestly is a grassroots and is a politician. I praise him any day, anytime. It wasn't just about, I must die where my party is. It was about, let's do the right thing for justice's sake. You understand? So we are going to open our hands to those other party faithfuls, to come in. It's about Cross River now. It's no more APC thing. How do we get this Cross River state right? How do we improve in the gains and the things Ben Ayade has put on ground? What and where Kuchera are going to touch and all that? Who and who do we put here? I think this time, if you listen to Senator Bassi too very well, we're going to have a very right mix. You understand? The young and the old. And you mount where you're good at and you'll be checked. you bring results. You understand? So it's going to be a very interesting government. And honestly, we're appealing to our opponents. It's not loss. It's a win for Cross River State. It was just the will of God. We all have pastors. Senator Prince Bassey Otu has his own pastor. Ndu from Sandiano has his own pastor. Everybody told everybody what they want to tell them. They all prayed. We all belong to God. But eventually, it was God's will that it's back to South. So we're actually appealing to all of them to come. Let's put our hands together and work for Cross River State. The site of this issue, where you have very, very, you check even our young children would wake up on Facebook, WhatsApp, and start abusing elders. Start saying, bringing some private issues to the public domain. I think that was totally wrong. We have to correct that. We don't fight this River State kind of politics. We're a family in Cross River State. And with that, we appeal to our opponents to join hands together, bring their lovely ideas. The ones we can take, we'll take. The ones we will try and do for the first 4 years, we'll do. So they'll have a very peaceful Cross River State. Okay,
so real quick, before I let you go in 30 seconds, how would the party assist the governor-elect finally when he's been sworn in to succeed?
Yeah, the governor-elect had said some things. He's going to improve on employment, and then he's going to, improve on the things Senator Professor Ben Ayade has on ground. We have some factories in the whole 18 local government. We have factories, companies, mounted all. But the thing is, some are completed, some are near completion. So I think the party would always remind the governor-elect of most of these things. And apart from that, the party would always want to appeal to people to be a bit patient with Senator Prince Bassey Otu. We should not expect too much too quick. We should just encourage him, be patient with him, and see he has a lot of good things to bring out. So we should not just put him in under pressure and start mounting pressure. The party also will look at appointments, will look at placements and all that. We were in the field. We knew those that didn't do anything. We knew those that actually did anti-party. You understand? I think the party will be able to contribute to that too. Let that slogan stands that monkey walk, monkey chop. So it's actually people that actually work that could actually deliver their polling units. And we know they have capacity this time around. We'll advise the governor-elect to look into such persons.
Thank you so very much. We're speaking with the State Publicity Secretary, Mr. Rasmus Ekpan. Thank you so very much. And we'll still be having you to come give us updates from your political party.
Thank you so much.